Oh, sorry, folks. This is not going to be none of my what I normally yell. I'm going to try to go off of my paper. Maybe I'll throw it over there so I can look until, so that'll be my pseudo kind of teleprompter. This here is probably, I'm going to try to make this one of my first reaction video. A little late to starting to get a channel. So let's go. I would say that it's going to be controversial, but maybe not too controversial. I always say that a little bit of common sense. A little bit of common sense. So here we go. I was glad when they said unto me, "Let us go into the house of the Lord." I started off there because I'm going to need some help spiritually. Still here spiritually, some help spiritually. Because even though, we might have God in us, Holy Ghost in us, we as humans still fail. First thing right off the bat, this might be a little bit political, but first thing off the bat is there is a difference between morality and righteousness. Morality and righteousness. I believe anyone can be moral and obtain moral. But in order to be righteous and have righteousness, there are a set of rules and standards. Morality is helping an old lady across the street. Righteousness is forgiving someone who has killed your brother. There's a difference. So, with that said, he knows what I'm saying. But anyways, with that said, here we go. So, shadow banning. Shadow banning, also called stealth banning, hell banning, ghost banning, comfort ghosting, is a practice of blocking a partial user from other users from other areas of online communities in such a way that the ban is not readily apparent to the user. And I'm glad I read that, because I think that my title of this probably channel or even YouTube will be shadow banning or shadow banner, because sometimes I feel that I'm getting shadow banned. And I guess everyone probably feels that way. Oh, no views. But a lot of times, I remember when I went over to Europe. When I went to Europe, I did like a little run where Mission Impossible running, and I'm like, oh, did you see that? Right? And a lot of people saw that I was doing my Mission Impossible run. But when I looked at the views, it was like there were no views. And so I said to myself, that's kind of crazy, right? It's kind of crazy. But I don't necessarily take anything, because I know that, either my humor or my content, the little bit it might not be for everyone. And so I just kind of like throw it away. Basically, I didn't necessarily pay that much attention to it, because I always feel that it's something else. And granted, I could be a lot more. I always take accountability myself, but I'm like, okay, if everyone that I know in my group, and granted my group is a little bit bigger, whether they were across the world, and it only said like 10 to 12 people watched it, then I think that, there might be something there. But I also take accountability for myself. We can also do bouts. So, shadow banner with nuisance. So let me just start off by saying this. I'm going to start off by saying this because this is going to be somewhat tiny bit political. And basically, I didn't realize was going to be running this long, but it's been in my head, and I just got to get all this stuff out. So here's what I'm saying. Who knows? Maybe I can put this on Clubhouse or whatever. So here's what I'm going to say. So first things first, before I jump into my piece, First things first. Look directly into my camera. Hopefully it's still going, it didn't cut off. First things first. Do not let anyone tell you who to vote for. Once again, if you didn't hear me, do not let anyone tell you who to vote for. We will say that this election here, everyone's saying it's this or that, fight for democracy, whatever it may be, to the people either giving us the information or your personal friend is telling you the election means something to them. But I'm talking to those other folks. Don't let people tell you who to vote for, even if they're going to be insulting. And what I mean by that is, like, people will come to me, and I guess others like me, and they'll ask me who I'm voting for. I'm not going to tell you. But they'll tell me, if you don't vote a certain way, that you're either a low informed voter or an ill informed voter. And to me, I believe that is insulting. I believe that that's insulting because they're telling you who lives your life, who has certain responsibility that he or thee or they or whatever, go pronouns, that they have responsibilities to take care of. And just because you are going to align with some of those responsibilities, that you're ill-informed. So to me, that bothers me, right? So it bothers me in the sense that we're going to take, we'll say, the middle class working Americans, middle class working Americans, followed by the working class Americans. Now, if that voter himself, hypothetically, we're saying, if that voter himself says, hey, I'm voting for Trump, right? We'll say he's voting for the Republican ticket, right? He says he's voting for the Republican ticket, and he tells you, hey, I'm voting for this Republican ticket because 4 years ago, my groceries were lower. 4 years ago, gas was lower. 4 years ago, even housing was a bit lower. So if that person tells you that he's voting for the other side because he felt the difference between now and 4 years previous, you're going to tell me that voter himself is ill-informed? I know you're going to probably say, hey, it's the metrics. It's the metrics. It's the metrics. Really? It's the metrics when you go to the gas station and your dollar. You see, I was lost it because you get emotional. And I tell people not to get emotional. When you go to the gas station and your gas is $1 more, and you're saying the matrix. And when you go to the grocery store, I'm filming. When you go to the grocery store and your groceries are $200 more, and when you can't buy a house, and when no one's paying you, you're saying your metrics. How come I'm not filling your metrics? You're filling your metrics. I'm not filling your metrics. So therefore, you're telling me that voter is ill-informed? To me, that's crazy. And that's what I mean. We all have issues, right? Right? And if your issue trumps, if your issue trumps taking care of your family, if your issue trump gas, groceries, if your issue trumps, just living, then I understand that person that you're calling ill-informed voter. He doesn't know about identity politics, right? Right? That person doesn't know that. So therefore, hopefully no one's in the car. Therefore, he's going to vote his best interest. Now, you might not like that. And if you don't like that, that's okay. You should be okay with that person voting that way. I do remember back in the day, it was okay. I had Republican friends. I had Democrat friends. And there was probably one or two libertarians out there. But we got along. Our differences made us who we were. That was the key. It made us who we were, and we were able to get along, right? And to me, that's what America is about. Don't worry, no one's going to be probably watching this video anyway. But say it again. Do not let anyone tell you who to vote for. And it's funny, I didn't realize I was going to go be that witness. So I'm just going to cut that out and then probably address this this other little piece in my next video. Let me go home. I'll change shirts. Hopefully come back. But once again, new channel, shadow banning, shadow ban, nuisance, shadow ban. We'll buy shadow ban. We'll keep it that. I'm just basically helping myself out. No one's really gonna watch this. Reactionary, current, non-current, and possibly even movies as well. But we'll see. Like I said again, do not let anyone tell you who to vote for. We are Uber. Peace. I got 2 shows already.